January can sometimes be a long, slow, cold month. But that's great! It means we can watch more movies. But was there any that just really wasn't worth watching? Hi everyone, thank you so much for joining me. Welcome to Film and TV Monthly Roundup for January. Film and TV Monthly Roundup is a series I started on this channel probably about 6 months ago now, and I must admit sometimes it does well and other times it doesn't do well. The idea of this is for me to go through exactly what I watched in the month of January, just really to try and help anyone out who's watching this video. Maybe I've watched something that's really good and you might think, yeah, I must check that out sometime. Or perhaps I've watched something that's really bad and I can try and tell you guys about it, and then you can sort of judge for yourself if you want to watch it or not. Please do join me in those comments. I would love to know for this video, is there anything you guys have watched in the month of January that you can recommend to me and everybody else? Please do put them in there, because I know lots of people do read the comments and it'd be great to share with everyone else if you have watched anything that's worth watching. Now I do have my iPad in front of me, so I've stuck it all on the iPad, so I will be looking down occasionally. Shall we begin? At the start of January, the first movie we watched was on Amazon Prime, Parasite. Now this does have English subtitles, so please do not let that put you off. It's about a poor family working their way into a rich family's life and home by deceptive means. Really good movie, wasn't too sure what to expect at first, but yeah, really enjoyed this one. The next movie we watched was Friday the 13th. We've been going through this. I picked this up. It's the 8 movie collection of Friday the 13th. And we watched Friday the 13th Part 2 from 1981. Very good movie. Sticking with the Friday the 13th theme, the next movie we watched was Friday the 13th Part 3 from 1982. Now this movie was originally in 3D, but we chose to watch it in 2D, and it was fine in 2D. You could tell there were certain 3D scenes in the movie where they were popping out at you. And there's a particular scene I really did like, going back to the start of the movie where Jason's done some killings, and then we focus on these group of young people and they're driving along and they're smoking things they shouldn't be smoking, and this police car comes up behind them and they start panicking, as you would, and they pull over, but the police car overtakes them and it's on its way to the original scene where Jason's done these killings. And there's a particular kill scene I really did like as well, and this is where Jason's squeezing the head and we see these eyeballs pop out. Moving on, there's a movie that we saw way back in 2003 at the cinema, and this is Wrong Turn. Had to watch this one again because the updated version's coming in 2021. Fingers crossed. And yeah, this story is about a collision that happens deep in West Virginia in the middle of nowhere, and these group of people, they set out to try and get help, and they venture into the woods and they end up getting picked off one by these inbred hillbillies. Really good movie. I think they made about 6 of these movies. I don't know what happened to 2, 3, 4 and 5 and 6 because they are just not very good. I would highly recommend watching the original Wrong Turn movie from 2003 if you haven't seen it already. You can give the others a miss, they weren't that good if I'm honest. But yeah, the original one was very good. Okay, moving on, it was a movie my daughter put on Disney Plus. Now I must admit I wasn't too sure about watching this when she first put it on, but I was hooked within the first 5 minutes. And this is called Safety from 2020. And it's about a US American football player who's able, with the help of his teammates and the people around him, he's able to raise and care for his 11-year-old brother. Very good. Like I say, ended up watching the whole movie and would highly recommend it. Next up is a movie from 2002 called Swim Fan, and this was directed by John Paulson. Now this is about an obsessive girl called Madison who takes her things a bit too far for promising swimmer Ben Cronin. Next up was a horror movie from 1989, House 3. And this is about a killer who's executed and he comes back to life to haunt a policeman and his family. It was okay, it was worth the watch, but yes, a bit silly. Moving on is a movie that I actually never knew existed, which is quite shocking really, because going back in the late 70s and early 80s, I used to be a massive fan of the California Highway Patrol. Yes, of course, it's Chips. This is called Chips 99 from 1998. The thing I liked about this movie is it stars the original cast from the Chips series. Eric Estrada, Larry Wilcox. Absolutely brilliant movie, got right into it, and they investigate car thefts that are happening around California. The only problem is that I didn't like the updated motorcycles. I prefer the old ones, but that's just my personal opinion.
Two of the best are back.
Been a long time, Bunch.
Go on patrol when Punch and John ride again to battle the ultimate case of road rage in a world premiere movie reunion.
Is this going on my driving record?
Eric Estrada, Larry Wilcox, and the Chips cast return in an all-new exclusive event.
Moving on is a movie from 1990. I've actually seen this probably about 3 or 4 times now. Directed by Roy Underwood. Tremors. Stars Kevin Bacon as well. This is a very good movie if you haven't seen it already. Not actually sure what the others are like. If you have seen the other Tremor movies, please do put in the comments below. I'd love to hear what the other Tremor movies are like. I've only ever seen the first one. What did we watch next? Okay, we went on to Amazon Prime and we watched Blackwater Abyss from 2020. This is deep in the forest in Australia, and it's about a group of friends that are exploring a remote cave when a giant crocodile is in the darkness. Not a very good movie. It's a typical one of those typical movies, trust me. It wasn't very good. And that is a Blackwater Abyss from 2020. Next up is this one. Relic from 2020. Again, this is an Australian horror movie. It's about a woman and her daughter who are investigating the disappearance of her elderly mother called Edna. Now, Edna turns up a couple of days later, and you can tell something isn't actually right with her. Well, again, this wasn't a movie for me. If you can explain Relic a little bit better than what I'm actually thinking, please again do put in the comments, because I didn't think this was a very good movie. I had this on pre-order for quite a while, and like I say, it arrived, we watched it, and I found it very disappointing. Next up is a movie that I did a review for, and it's actually done quite well on YouTube. Thank you very much if you have watched the review for Sightless from 2020. Like I say, it has done very well, a total surprise. Now, let's just say, this movie could have been so much better. If you want to see the review, please do check out the review. I'll leave the link below. The next couple of movies both star Steven Seagal, because I do have a Steven Seagal special coming probably next week or the week after. And the first one was from 1988, and that is Nico Above the Law. I never actually knew that this starred Sharon Stone. Really good movie. And the next one with Steven Seagal was Hard to Kill from 1990 there. And Seagal plays a cop called Mason Storm who's literally left for dead. And he has to expose the guys behind his family's murder. It was okay. I watched this movie back in probably 1992. And I just didn't think it was as good as back then, so I don't know what's happened to it. I found it quite hard to understand. I'll probably have to watch it again now just to try and work out what happened. But yeah, when I first watched this movie, really good, but second time round, not as good. I went over to Netflix next and I did a review for this one. If you want to check out the review for this, I will leave the link below, and it's Accomplice from 2020. Now this is only 50 minutes long, and this was a really big surprise. What these guys can do on a mountain bike is just nuts. So I stayed on Netflix, and a movie I watched, 2021 movie, Below Zero. Again, I did do the review for this one. If you want to watch the review, I'll leave the link below in the description. This was a really good movie as well. It's a Spanish movie with an English dubbed over. I will probably watch it again, but this next time I will watch it in the original Spanish version and not the English dubbing over. There was nothing wrong with the dubbing over, but it wasn't the best, and it certainly wasn't the worst either. So yeah, if you are planning to watch Below Zero, check out the review, but do watch it in the original Spanish version. The last movie we watched in January was on Amazon Prime called Afterlife. Now this stars Christina Ricci and also Liam Neeson as well. And this is a story about a woman that has an horrific car accident, and she wakes up to find the funeral director, Liam Neeson, preparing her body for the transition to the afterlife. This was quite a good movie actually, a big surprise, but they leave it wide open at the end for your imagination to wonder. There's a couple of ways of thinking about it. And that was the last movie we watched in January. Moving on to the TV, New Year's Day, it can only be one thing, Doctor Who New Year's Day special. The Daleks are back, yes! But I don't like the way they're flying. Also, I've got a problem with the story. I just don't think the storylines are as good as they used to be. Moving across to Netflix was season 3 of Cobra Kai, and it finished. Oh wow, I love Cobra Kai. If you are a fan of the original Karate Kid movies way back in the 80s, trust me, you guys will love Cobra Kai. It stars the original cast. I'm not going to go too much into Cobra Kai Series 3 because I know a lot of people probably haven't seen it. But yes, it's ended really well. And like I say, the original cast is back from those movies. Absolutely brilliant. Can't wait for season 4. For those of you here in the UK, ITV, we had the Pembrokeshire Murders. This is about Welsh serial killer John Cooper, who was serving a prison sentence for burglary. But one detective, Steve Wilkins, played by Luke Evans, he links him to a double murder. I'm not going to go too much into this just in case you want to watch it, and it is a true story as well. And the last thing on the TV, sticking with ITV, is The Bay Season 2 has just started. This stars Morgan Christie and also Daniel Ryan as well, and they're investigating a murder in Morecambe. I will be talking a little bit more about this in Film and TV Monthly Roundup for February, as it's just started. And that is a wrap for everything I've watched in January. Please do join me in those comments. I would love to know, is there anything you guys have watched this month that you can recommend to me and everybody else? Please feel free to put them down below. It'd be absolutely fantastic. If you like this video, please do give it a like. Also, don't forget to share, and please subscribe if you can. Plenty more videos to come in the future. It'd be great to have you guys on board. Thank you so much for watching. You've been watching Carl on the channel Carlinio 9. I will see you guys soon. Take care. Bye bye.